107 kilometres run from the Bayern Munich team, 97 or so, or 98 kilometres from the Barca team. The commitment, the willingness to run off the ball. We highlighted Goretzka before the game. Basic runs from midfield, hurting opposing midfielders. You played midfield, Owen. What was it like a midfielder running beyond you? It's all right when they stay there, like the Barcelona midfielders, but the Bayern midfielders running beyond you, hurting you, having to run back with them. These things make it so difficult.
It's a great point. You think about how good a football player Frankie de Jong is, yeah? He's a beautiful football player. Who was the better player today? Goretzka or Frankie de Jong? Frankie de Jong never hurts you at any point. He wants everything to feet. He wants everything easy. Goretzka hurt you every time he was tackling. Messi was getting in the box.
In a way as well, de Jong on the left-hand side. He seems very, not very comfortable in that position. They've seem to have a lot of square pegs in round holes.
Oh, we said that before the game. Sergio Roberto playing out wide, Frankie de Jong playing out wide, Vidal almost as a number 10. Busquets, he's not going to stop people in there. I mean, they'd had a lot of people playing positions that they wouldn't normally. And normally Barca out-football everyone. They couldn't out-football Bayern today.
They can't do that. If Manchester City beat Lyon, they can't do that to them. Can they be a different proposition, wouldn't they? Particularly if they played that high line.
I mean, said they're a perfect team. I understand what you're saying in some elements of it, but defensively, if I'm Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne,
definitely
Foden, etc., Aguero, if he's fit, I'm thinking, please get us past Lyon because I see goals. If I was playing that team, I'd see goals.
Seems a strange thing to say after an 8-2 victory against Barcelona, doesn't it? That you're picking out a weakness.
I'm sure we'll show a few examples later of the high line that Bayern play. It's criminal. My school team didn't play like that.
Not without pressure on the ball, at least.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's some of the stuff they've done where you think, but can they press as high and win the ball as high and get the opportunities and goals that they got today if they don't play as high at a higher line at the back? That's a conundrum, I'm sure, for the manager. And that's one of the reasons I think they play so high, to win it as high up the pitch as they can.
Now let's have a breathe, and we'll look at that analysis and all the goals. It might take quite a while. Barcelona completely mullered. Weren't they, really? I mean, look at that scoreline there. It's just beggars belief, really.
He's great value. When you see him in press conferences or interviews, he's got a bit of funny side to him, but there's an element now. I've written down a few words: focused, the intensity, the mentality, team, aggressive. They're all the things that encapsulates that team. When you watch them and see the way they play, yes, there's deficiencies here and there in their team, but the fundamentals of that team are what you need to be a team that's going to go on and win things. They've done it in the domestic league, and things are looking on the up for.
And it all started with Muller's goal. It seems a long time ago, wasn't it? It was about 4 minutes in, wasn't it? And brilliant bit of football.
Yeah, I mean, they just, they can win the ball back, and that's the thing. They can play on the counter, but the precision, Perisic into Muller, a little set, another little set, bang, balls in the back, and that 1-0. And then it was really, you just thought there was going to be goals. I don't think we ever anticipated this many, but the quality of the goals was impressive as well.
Muller's disguise on that volley, touch into Lewandowski, like, you can't underplay that. That is an unbelievable bit of skill. To see it, to disguise it, put the defender off and then get the other side of him was tremendous.
There was a decent volley for the second goal. It was albeit it was an own goal from Alaba.
But this is what we talked about, running in behind, deep runs, running in behind this defence. They had an opportunity before this that they got away with, and then the second time it happened, this big space here, it's not about the centre forward in Suarez or Messi running into that. It's the full-back running in from deep, or a midfielder, and you'll get loads and loads of joy today. That's what happened. I think Neuer could probably have done better there,
Yeah, I mean, they were a bit shaky to start, weren't they, Bayern, defensively, but I think once, Barca had a bit of intensity to start the game. Once that wavered off, they just got crushed.
You could see, couldn't you, even as early as that there were going to be a lot of goals in this game, the way both teams played.
Yeah, I mean, Rio made a good point. Both teams defend too high. So there's, and I just think with the space in behind for all these fabulous players, there's only, thing is, in Barca trying to play out of areas, and that's where Bayern are fabulous now, winning the ball back in these areas. Look how quick, they win it back there, 20, 30 yards, it's a goal. It's in the back of the net. And Barca, they turned over possession in areas we don't normally think of. Xavi and Iniesta, they would have never lost the ball in those areas.
You said it when we was watching. That's Barca being Barca. Isn't
it? But the high line gives you the opportunity to press high. It makes it that side of it easier, doesn't it?
I think that's what Hansi Flick's brought to this Bayern team, which almost is Pep Guardiola-esque. And then in these areas, the quality, Goretzka, Gnabry,
pass, wasn't it?
It's unbelievable.
Oh, I mean, we highlighted Goretzka before the game. I was so impressed with him this game and what he done. He does things that look very basic, and they're not really things that you go, that's not an Instagram moment. He doesn't do any of that. There's no Instagram snapshots, but he does basics so well. The hard part of the game, the stuff that's hard to do, that people just take for granted, he does all that.
But look at where they're winning the ball back. Barca can't get out. That's one of the best teams we've ever seen. They can't get out, and Bayern just suffocate them, get the ball back. Okay, they win the second one there. Then they win that one, second balls, third balls. But Muller gets across, and they just overran Barca. We said they didn't think they had enough power or pace. I don't think we thought the gap would be this big, and it was a gulf.
But they're playing silly football there.
Yeah,
they're silly passing out the back there. There's things that it's almost like fantasy football. Like, this is where we're meant to play, and Barca played throughout the history, so we're going to keep to it. This is the Cruyff way. Sometimes you haven't got the players to do it, or the other team are pressing you so much you can't do it, so you've got to change a little bit.
Well, we didn't think we were getting two-legged games, but we kind of got two-legged halves, didn't we? Because both halves were won by Bayern Munich by 4-1.
Crazy. I mean, again, relentless. Like you think you go 4-1 up in some games. We've played in games, you go 4-5-1 up, and you just chill. Just start playing it around the back.
But I suppose, you saw there was a glimmer of hope possible. This was a cracking goal, actually, that Suarez scored.
I mean, you love that touch from Jordi Alba there. How about that for a chop on Boateng? See you later. Honestly, just lost him.
He spun him on the dance floor.
How good a finish is that? But there just wasn't enough moments of those, and Bayern really made the point. Bayern defensively, they're not perfect, but that there is just quality from a fabulous finisher. But he just didn't get enough service, Luis Suarez.
You've seen Suarez do that type of goal a lot of times, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a wonderful finisher. He
shapes up to put it in the far corner.
His legs are going there, aren't they? You can see it. His pace has kind of disintegrated.
Yeah, he's put in hard yards over the years. He's a player.
He's a fighter.
He's a fighter. He's someone who every game meant the world to him, it seemed. And sometimes you run out of steam, but he's still got the quality.
You sort of knew something else would happen for Bayern Munich. And Alphonso Davies, this is special, isn't it?
I mean, the thing is, as a player, as a Barca player, nobody wants to get near him because they know what could happen. So Maida's probably the only one who thought, right, I can match you pace for pace. How about this? And we know he's quick, but how about a little shimmy there? Woof. See you later. And then Kimmich just glides by De Jong, and
it's uncalled for, what he just done there. It's out of order. It shouldn't be allowed. What he done, it's embarrassing.
I think if I was Semedo there, I'd say, can you take me off, please? I think I'm done for.
If I'm Semedo, I'd come off Instagram for a little while, because that's just what he done there was just, it was very, listen, and people say, he came over as a left winger. He should be a left winger. He'd be a great left winger. He's the best attacking fullback on the planet at the moment. Yeah. Let him breathe and live as the best attacker in fullback in the world. Yeah. He was amazing today. Yeah,
he's so talented, isn't he? He really is. Lewandowski eventually got in on the act. I mean, 5-2 without a goal, which was. But here it is, number 54 of this quite remarkable season.
He was probably getting frustrated at this point, because he wasn't on the score sheet, and he's got records to break. And that's the thing that I saw in this team today. There was players coming off the bench with something
offside,
to prove. Yeah, I thought he was offside, to be fair.
They had a look, obviously, and they haven't shared the lines and all this stuff with us. But
if you look at it, though, that's the substitute coming off the bench. Coutinho on loan from Barca. Yeah. He comes on, scores 2, sets up 1 as well. Yeah. Coman came on, was flying up and down the pitch. Like, these guys, it's
Lucas Hernandez.
What does he say about the recruitment and everything around Barcelona at the moment, that Coutinho comes on and scores 2 goals against his former club? Well, his club, it's still his club, but he's obviously on loan.
No. Well, he's still a fabulous player, but I love this one. Messi getting, Bayern still working so hard. They're cruising in the game, win the ball back, and Coutinho comes on. As you said, we know he's a fabulous player, but he's a squad player in this Bayern Munich team. Muller's form has just been outrageous, but he came on and played great. And Rio makes a point. You got Coman, you got Perisic, you got Coutinho, you got Lucas Hernandez, you got Tolisso. They've got so many fabulous players to come off the bench.
I've got my abacus out, and I think this is number 8.
But this is the thing. It's 8 goals there, yeah? You're in the semis already, yeah? You'd think you'd take your foot off the gas. These guys are just like, I keep saying it, relentless. They're just on it the whole time, not giving the team a chance to breathe. And this is an ominous sign for the opposing teams in the tournament, because it seems to me that they feel, listen, we might concede a couple, but we will outscore anyone in this tournament. That's the way that these guys seem to be playing.
They will if they keep scoring 8.
Yeah, and we said before the game, a team that had Ribéry and Robben for so many years and relied so heavily upon them, there's no one talking about them in Bayern Munich now. like you think they would have been, because two big players leaving it. You think of the big players that leave clubs over the years, there's a hangover. There hasn't been one really, has there?
It's an astonishing turnaround from where they were last season, and even at the beginning of this season, though, wasn't it? Because we saw them, Liverpool pull them apart last season, and then this year they've come around and struggled at the start of the season, but since Christmas.
Well, I think Rio makes a good point of the fact, Robin and Ribery, they're trying to chase getting these fabulous athletes, but all of a sudden now, Kimmich is almost the wide man now, and Davis on the other side, and the wide players are coming inside, joining Lewandowski, and that's where all the goals are coming from. They have so many weapons. They control the game in the middle of the park. They've got pace, got power. They just have Lewandowski in the form of his life, Muller in the form of his life. I think Bayern the blend is perfect. I think about Liverpool in the Premier League, and they get the blend right with, they got Van Dijk back there with Alisson. Bayern have the blend as good as anyone in the Champions League, and that's why I think they're going to be hard to stop.
Even that, we didn't even touch on it there, but the Alphonso Davies run, that's fullback setting up fullback to score. Yeah. You're doing something right when you're doing stuff like that in a game, and it's expansive, open football, and it's to watch. I mean, going forward, they're a joy to watch.
No, they certainly are. There are plenty more to discuss. Why were Barcelona so poor? Are they just shot?
Yeah, I think they're shot. I think we spoke about their recruitment before the game. Has been shoddy, to say the least, up to this point. And even the amount of money that they've spent over the last few years, they still rely on the players that were there before that recruitment process started.
Well into their 30s now.
Yeah, they are, and they're the wrong side of 30. But the problem is, especially the first half, they were the creators of their own problems. Ter Stegen, who's fantastic with his feet normally, was so sloppy in creating chances, and it just puts the bad taste in your mouth when you see this at the beginning of a game. Where's the manager telling them maybe from the sidelines, sort yourself out, change a little bit, don't keep going short and creating these problems and creating panic at the back. It was terrible in the first half.
But you look there, I mean, the one thing you would say is they're trying to play, but look at how high Bayern are pressing, the intensity of the press. Looking at these clips, it was 8-2. It actually could have been more. I mean, the chances that Bayern had, and as Reece said, why are you trying to play in these areas? And just because your Barca doesn't give you the right to play in these areas, Bayern could have scored more. And we said last week, didn't we? We said Bayern will out-football Barcelona.
Yeah.
When we won the Champions League, we didn't try and out-football Barcelona because you couldn't. Yeah. Now you can. Suarez and Messi are looking around thinking, I miss Iniesta, I miss Xavi, I miss Puyol, because those guys arenn't there for them anymore.
There isn't that quality in that squad now, is there?
No,
and the quality that is there are the players that are well into their third. About 4 or 5 of them are 33.
Yeah,
average age is nearly 30.
Yeah, and that's crazy. But another big question is, what is Messi thinking? What's he thinking now in that change room, going home tonight? Is he thinking?
Well, he's probably thinking, I've got another year or 2 left in my career at that kind of level.
But does he want to spend it in that shirt at that club, given the performances and the way the squad is looking at the moment in comparison to other teams around Europe? So it's a big question, I'm sure, that he'd probably be thinking about.
Do you think he should leave?
He can't wear another shirt, can he? But,
well, he can.
Why not?
But the thing is, if you look at the young man that came on, Ansu Fati, he played great. But he's a 17-year-old kid, so the gap between Messi and who's going to be next.
Well, that's what I mean. For the next 2 or 3 years, you can't see them being successful.
No, you can't. De Jong's not ready.
Has he got the time to sit there and wait?
No, he doesn't, no.
Football's a game that goes and comes and goes very quick in your life. So these next 2 years where he's still going to be, he's going to have the power to influence games the way he does. Is he going to want to be doing that not really competing for the big titles? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how long Setien will last. I suspect not that long after a result like this.
Well, we saw
a season like this.
We saw what happened with Ronaldo, and he tried to carry that Juventus team. They didn't have anything in the tank. Sorry, got the sack the next day. I think for Setien, that's probably his last game. The way that they play, that's got to be his last game.
Who should they go for? Someone, and who can come in and who can turn that team, that aging team, back into a major force? It looks like it's got a massive amount.
It's a massive job. I mean, there'll be someone cleaning his desk right now as we speak, I'm sure. Yeah. And I think that it was almost a poison chalice before he even got there because of the recruitment. I thought that was going to be someone's Achilles heel, whoever came into the job. But who goes in there now? Xavi, has he just signed a new deal? He's the club he's at in Qatar. He's someone maybe they want to groom.
Or Pochettino, he's available. I know he said he was player at Espanyol and manager at Espanyol, and then he obviously he's always said I wouldn't manage Barcelona. But the last time he said that was 5 years ago, and he's been out of work for a little while.
Thing is, though, I think if you look at the way Liverpool play and the way Bayern play today, you need a bit more power in there. You need a bit more pace in there. You know, it's great to get the ball to feet and play and play and play.
It doesn't matter who's in charge at the moment, though, does it?
That's what I mean. They need to get some of those attributes into the side. Look, they got Ansu Fati, they got Dembele if he's fit. They got some really good flair players to go around Messi. But defensively, you can't concede 8 and expect to compete. You just can't.
And the game changes. We've had that time of that era of the tiki-taki football that Barca were playing.
More dynamism now, isn't it?
And now that energy, fitness, along with that ability to play. It's not just about fitness and about running off the ball, etc. It's about, you have that, but balanced with the ability to play. Because like we looked at Bayern, the balance in their team in terms of they can turn it on in terms of passing and great football and great movement and rotations, but also if you want to go toe-to-toe physically with them, I think they can stand up.
This seems a kind of very strange analysis to do on a team that's just won 8-2, but there's a few weaknesses and concerns that you would have if well, they will play either Manchester City or Lyon in the semi-final, but areas that Manchester City can capitalise.
Yeah, like I said before, if I'm a Man City player, like a Sterling or Kevin De Bruyne, etc., I'm kind of licking my lips thinking, if we get through our game and we get to this team, and if they play, it's a big if they play as high as they did today, we have a great opportunity to get goals. And here, I'll show you the clip, I'll play it here. They're on the attack with Alphonso Davies, they lose the ball, and I'll just slow it down. Once they win the ball back, I mean, Barca come out, watch these players here. All they're interested in, they've been told, come to the ball, squeeze, squeeze. Not one of them thinks about running back towards their own goal. And when I play it on slowly here, these players know this. And these two here, who I'll highlight for you, Suarez, the two strikers for Barcelona, and Messi, they are not interested one iota here. No. They've got the ball, you'd think they'll be on the move thinking we can get on the ball. It's about these players running from deep, running from here, and running from here. They're the players that are going to hurt you. So in Man City's case, it's Walker, Mendy, De Bruyne, etc. And once the ball then goes through, look at this. The high line of Barca, and you've got an absolute machine running. He can't get back. City will have better quality there. Kevin De Bruyne putting that on a plate.
And more pace.
And more pace, exactly. So if that happens, and that's the big if here. Yeah. If Bayern Munich play exactly the same way as they did today, tactically, a high line at the back, I feel that they'll have opportunities if you're an opposing team, Man City especially.
Yeah, if Man City beat Lyon and then Bayern Munich play that way, you can see it being 7-6.
One thing I would say, I agree with Rio. The one thing I would say is City have gotten to shootouts a few times, haven't they? Tottenham, Monaco, and they lost both. Yeah. So in a shootout, I think Bayern defend better than probably City do right now, and they'll hurt them. So I think we made the point. I think Bayern will say to you, right, well, you know, they put 7 past Tottenham, 8 past Barca, Chelsea quite a few. Let's be honest, they could put 5 or 6 past anyone on any given
Chelsea
day.
only losing 7-1 in aggregate looks, of course, quite a good result.
It took 2 games as well.
It took 2 games, exactly.
Yeah. Frank will be saying, let's see, we weren't that bad.
They're going to take some beating, aren't they?
I think that's the only weakness there, that high line and the bit of space in the back. But, I mean, if you're getting 8 against Barcelona, you know, Lewandowski, Muller, all those players, I mean, jeez. And I still think they can play even better than that.
And everyone plays their part. Every single assist was from a different player today.
Yeah, 155 goals in 50 games this season. Over three a game. That's a hell of a stat, isn't it?
As Lewandowski scored a third of them goals.
It's about a third. just less than a third.
Unbelievable.
54, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean...
But they're a team, listen, what I love about them is I think Muller's interview after the game was a real good kind of snapshot of what they're about, and they're a serious team who understand what it takes to win this tournament. They've got a great experience added to the quality of what they have.
What about Muller's comeback this season? He seemed like he was out on his feet.
Well, Coutinho was there. Everybody thought Coutinho was going to play. You know, they were saying the biggest superstar in the Bundesliga. He's been unbelievable. The best season he's ever had. And that really makes a good point. The word team. That is a team. Bayern played like a team. Liverpool played like a team. And they're brilliant.
Hansi Flick's done a hell of a job.
Unbelievable job. Honestly, the job that he's done out of possession, making this team as good as they are offensively, work as hard as they do for him. Even at 6-7-2, the chasing the ball was just unbelievable.
And they've got They've got Sane to come into this next season, by the way.
Yeah, well, they need improving going forward.
Exactly, yeah. In the wide areas, they're struggling.
That'll help. Talking of Sane, it brings us last couple of minutes of the show. Let's talk a little bit about tomorrow night, a final quarter-final, Manchester City, Lyon. Should be another cracking game.
Oh, I can't wait. This is interesting because of what's happened previous between these two teams. Man City, they know that they're a team that they'll respect them, but that this Lyon team will know that they can hurt them. They had the formula last time. Can Man City kind of work it out and then navigate their way through? I believe they will do. I think they've got too much. I think the experience as well will be telling. I think Sterling's in fantastic form since we've come back from the break that they had. I just feel that this City team will manage the game better than they did against them last time out.
What do you think, Owen?
Yeah, City are far too good, but I think Lyon have good experience in the centre-back position. 3 young central midfield players. They're nice football players. Memphis Depay up top. You know, they'll pose a threat, but I think Pep and City, they're far too good for Lyon.
Yeah. How will he go about this game, Pep? The way he goes about all his games, but he does tend to, you know, he changes his systems and his tactics.
Well, he speaks about both boxes. You know, in terms of defending the box well and being clinical. If they do that, then I think it's going to be really, really comfortable for City. But, you know, if they leave space with these terrific young athletes that they have from Lyon, then, you know, we saw it against Monaco. You know, that they can be a bit vulnerable because they dominate so much of the ball. But I think if City are clinical, I think they win comfortably.
Yeah, with all due respect to Lyon, I'd love to see Manchester City, Bayern Munich, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
What game that
That's what I'm hoping for, definitely, because you want to see the best players and the best teams playing. I mean, Lyon, with all due respect to they've got some fantastic young players, as Owen mentioned there, but I want to see the best players at this stage of the tournament.
We've seen the kind of end of an era, do you think, a little bit this year? It's the first time in the Champions League, in the semi-finals, that we've not had Ronaldo or Messi since 2005.
That is an amazing stat, isn't it? It's crazy.
15 years we've had of them being in the semi-finals at least.
And whenever people start debating, are they two of the two greatest ever? When you hear things like that, they have to be. They have to be on the top of the mountain above everybody else because of what they've done over such a long period of time. That consistency has never, ever been done with the numbers that they've churned out year in, year out. So these guys, listen.
It's sad that it has to end, and it won't be the same.
Every story has an ending.
Sure, but yeah, and we've kind of reached our ending as well. But Owen, thank you very much. Rio, see you again tomorrow night. Yeah. Well, it was a bleak night for Barcelona, who looked to be in a real 2-8. But Bayern were absolutely breathtaking, and boy, are we gearing up for one hell of a semi-final. Over to you, Manchester City.